our viewers. Every Tuesday, we have our show, True Wellness Connections. Today, we are only two, but I think we are going to enjoy talking with my friend here. Um, it's a wonderful Tuesday. Let's count it a blessing, regardless what is happening in our lives. For all our viewers, to, this evening, just stay connected. There are so many stuff that we are going to talk about it, more especially with our boys. You know, with our community nowadays, we see like the boys are growing. Um, Physically, they grow really fast, but mentally, they're um, they are kind of like lacking behind. So today we are just going to explore. If you have any questions, suggestion, you can send it to you can text us or you can send it to True Word Television. Then we can be able to address your questions, or we can address it sometime maybe next week. Before wasting any time, I will love my guest to introduce herself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Elizabeth Bremo. I've been here before and I'm so happy to be here again. I'm a teacher by profession and I work with Pembina School Division. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, today our topic is how to empower, not actually youth. We change our topic, how to empower our immigrant boys educationally, socially, economically, spiritually, and culturally. The reason why we chose this topic is, both of us, we have two boys, but ours are all grown up. Mine are still young. One day we were talking, there came challenges about doing school homework and how they struggle when their kids were young. And me being a mom, it's different. So we thought, okay, we just have um, to empower our boys by talking, like discussing with True Wellness Connection. Maybe somebody out there is struggling. So, that's why we chose the topic. And also, um, statistically, nowadays, boys are way behind in college, schools, even jobs. They're still, yeah, the number's still pretty good. But of course, it's kind of a little bit dropping. Boys, way back, they used to be very competitive with the girls. They were always the number ones and all. But now things are kind of changing. That was the reason why we chose this topic: how to empower our immigrants, boys, educationally, socially, economically, spiritually, and culturally. So before we start discussing with Elizabeth, I was reading something about research. Decades um, decades back, a lot of male youths, they used to graduate with a lot of degrees. They used to hold these all well-paid jobs, but women are kind of like doing teaching jobs, secretary, social work. But now things has really completely changed. But from 1960 up to current, like, the numbers of boys attending school, even elementary, they're dropping out of schools. They're not even making up to universities. They're, even if they make to universities, they drop out. So we thought, you know what, it's not to be youth, but to be boys. Because if we go straight to youth, this is when they graduated high school. Maybe they're in high school, it will be too late. So we thought, okay, boys, when they are really young, from young age, from very, very young age, how are we going to empower them as a mother? How are you going to empower as a father? How are you going to empower as a pastor in the church where these boys are going, or as a mother, how are you going to empower your boys when they're still young? as a mother, I have two boys. I have to worry because when I saw the statistics, I was like, well, what will happen when my boys are now going to be in universities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want this topic to be out there, so that maybe I can get some positive feedback. Maybe somebody will say, hey, Victoria, I know you are struggling with your boys. I can mentor them. I can be a father figure to them. I can be able to pray with them, preach with them, or, read them the word of God. Or also, if I'm a business owner, I can be able to take them out to my business side and show them, those are the things that our true wellness connection is more about, just to educate people out there, to share our ideas with people, and also to get the feedback. So, you know, as I talked about before already, nowadays our boys are not serious in school like before. But before we go any further, like, as a teacher, what have you noticed in the recent years, like from 19, like since you become a teacher? Let me not go way back, but since you become a teacher.
Thank you. I've been teaching for the past 22 years, and I've discovered changes, like you said. Girls, they are more focusing, they have a goal, they have dreams. So do boys too. So what I discover is that when you catch them young, it helps a lot. It's like you are sowing seed for the future. So I will start with kindergarten, or before your child is 5. You start planting uh, the desire in his heart that school is very interesting. Actually, from daycare, because they go to daycare from age 2. And daycare, they start preparing them for school. So daycare, they learn, they listen to stories, a lot of things. They learn the alphabet, and they eat a lot. But from kindergarten, I discovered that there are some small boys that really fear coming to school. So, but as a parent, if you start planting it in their mind, school is very exciting, you get to learn a lot of things there, it will make school interesting for them. Because most of the time, kids feed on information from adults, especially their parents, because to them, their parent is all they know. So, but when they start receiving positive report about school, that will help them. Oh, kindergarten is very interesting. They look forward to kindergarten. Now, from kindergarten to grade 5 or grade 6, a lot of things happen. Uh, they develop friendship. They know the value of friendship. Then the ability to focus in class, they start learning that gradually. So their performance, they start getting to understand, oh, my performance counts towards my bigger grade at the end of the section. Now, I've seen a boy that when he wanted to start going to school, he was looking forward to school. They moved from one province to another, and he was looking forward to school, that school would be a place where he would be free to play. And so that was what happened. He started school, everybody liked him, student, he made friends easily. But suddenly we just discovered that he started withdrawing. And teachers will say, what is going on with this boy? What is going on with this boy? The parents were complaining too, because they discovered that when they wake him up in the morning to go to school, is the fear is just too much. Mom, I'm not going. I don't want to go. There is no need. What are we learning? Start complaining. Then after some one-on-one talk with the boy, we discovered that there's been a lot of things going on in the class that he's not happy with, but at the same time, he doesn't have the confidence to tell the teacher. So those little areas matters. He cannot discuss it with his parent at home. He doesn't have the boldness to talk to the teacher. So he's keeping everything to himself. And this happens with boys so much. Girls, naturally, they talk a lot. They will pour out their hearts to anybody that is hurting them. But boys, there is one shell to some of the boys, not all, that they want to withdraw into. So, but when we catch them young and we plant the seed of, oh, when you go to school, you learn a lot, the interest of education in them, it will help them a lot. So getting through to this boy, then starts the discussion with the parent. That was the beginning of the discussion with the parent. We started talking to the parent that this is what is going on. You need to be involved in this boy's education. So, and from that place, he was able to recover and he started finding school interesting again. So, as a teacher, that is my own view about catching them young. For whatsoever they want to do in life, if they don't have interest in learning, I don't think they can really reach the goal. Yes, nowadays there are a lot of things you can do without going to university. But what about graduating grade 12 and have a good report, have a good result? So I believe we will talk about it more, but catching them young is very, very important.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, catching them very young, it's very important. I'm the living example right now. I have two boys, they're still young. One is very, very smart cuckoo. He reads more than I do. He corrects my grammatical error, my pronunciation. And the other one, he likes to watch TV. And yeah, he's still young, but I believe what happened was when he was young, I wasn't really focusing on him that so much. I was focusing on making like money, making money, work, work, work. But now I have seen it. Now I know his weaknesses. I do a lot of things with him, by the way. It's not always money, but even your presence, being at
Yeah.
home with them in the evening, right, can even when they come from school, you can be able to say, do you have homework? Right at the door. If they say yes, go have a shower, come and eat your supper, do your homework before you sit in front of the TV.
Yeah.
That will also make them know, oh, my mom is tough, or I have to do my homework. Another thing is to also catching them early. Not necessary you have to wait for their report card. Me, I always call their school, you know, how is my son doing in school? Because I don't want people to label me, oh, she's a single mother, she's running her show behind the curtain, she's not paying attention to her kids, now her kids are not performing well. So me, I'm always showing my face on the teachers. Hey, how is my son doing?
Yeah.
And I tell them, if he's not doing well in school, please give me a call. Please send me a message. And basically they do it now. If he doesn't send his homework, with the Zoom, actually, if he's not in the class, they'll call me, Victoria, your son is not in the class. Then I have to go. Now, with all these Zoom classes, it actually made me to love staying home more, because now I have to make sure that when they're in class, I have to supervise.
Yes.
Because these kids, they're smart, right? They can immute the teacher, then play
Yes.
games or
Yeah.
watch whatever they want.
Yeah.
So, catching them really early is best. So, as mothers or parents out there, one time I heard someone said, our children are our future security. It doesn't mean that in terms of money,
Yeah.
but these are like when you leave this world, they can be there to represent you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But again, if they don't get the proper education, if they follow the wrong crowds, how are you going to feel it, the pain that you brought them up?
Mm-hmm.
So, as a mother, we just have to get involved
That's
in
right.
our kids life.
Yeah.
The earliest is the best. I can this is all I can say. And also, one thing that I know, I have been reading a research about why boys are not interested in college. And the researchers said that, like, a lot of people out there, yeah, worrying about boys are not going to college, they are dropouts from high school and all that. What are the factors? And they really don't know what is making boys not to go to college or to attend school, to drop out. So they are kind of really worried. The researchers, they were kind of really worried. They don't have specific answer to the question,
Mm-hmm.
but they are working on it. They want to get boys back to classes,
Mm-hmm.
back to education, higher education, because for me, actually, I think it's good, because, like, boys, they will grow up to marry someone's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
If they are not well educated, how are they going to make, how are they going to care for the family? Spiritually, the Bible says, you know, men are the heads of the family,
Yeah.
they represent Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a man who is weak, maybe financially you don't bring enough, and that will cause a lot of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
We are not generalizing, but we are just saying it will cause a lot in the family. So for you to be example, as a boy out there, you are listening to what we are discussing, or a parent, you have a boy or boys, just try to be careful that you are raising a future husband,
Mm-hmm.
a future Christ-like family, that you're,
That's right.
yeah, leader and everything. So just um, just take a pause and
Mm-hmm.
say, you know what, regardless how much money I'm making, it's not going to pay for, if my kids, they go astray, this money is not going to help me.
That's right.
Yeah. So of course, with the dropouts, of course, there are some factors what makes boys are not participating or liking school. One of the factors that I know is, as Elizabeth already mentioned earlier, boys tend to develop later in life mentally,
Mm-hmm.
because they develop later in life. Even if they are 15, they will feel that I'm still 10, I'm still young.
Yeah.
They will not take responsibility of doing homework. They will just throw things anyhow. They will just, oh, you know what, I will do it, I will do it. But as parents, we just have to make sure that we talk to our boys. You know what? You have responsibility. You are 10. You are not growing younger. You're growing older every year. You
Yeah.
just have to make sure you do your chores.
Mm-hmm.
I find, as a mother, you know, um, I find like telling them, you know what, you need to do your chores. You need to have time for your books and your Bible readings or your novel. All those kind. I make sure that they do, even if they don't do perfectly 100%. At least one page a day, they
Mm-hmm.
they read it. It's good.
Yeah.
So this is one of the factors that makes boys not to attend school, because they mature later in life. So all, maybe from kindergarten to grade 12, they will be playing. They will not take education seriously. But when they are going to higher grades, for example, from grade 1 up to grade 6, it's still easier. But from grade
Mm-hmm.
7 to grade 12, it's a bit harder. So if you cannot be able to read, you get frustrated in
Yeah.
class, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you see, I don't like education. I don't like to go to higher level, because there is other jobs like working in McDonald's,
Mm-hmm.
working here and there. I'll be able to make living. And what do you think? What kind of other factors are there that are affecting boys?
Uh, Boys naturally, let me say this. When my boys were growing, we did something and it's like a reward. So if you read like 2 or 3 books this week after school, then you are going to get a sticker. And we used that sticker for a long time. And a sticker is like a reward. So you are able to read 2 books, you get 1 sticker. So we put it, there is a place we put it, and 5 stickers equals maybe a gift or $1. So it varies. But the most important thing is that number one, there is a need for a boy to have a father figure in their life or somebody that will be talking to them constantly, because boys copy uh, adults easily. I've had this statement a lot of times. They will say, "Oh, he did it, so I can do it." Because it's just like me. The boys refer to a male, an older male, as a boy too. They say, "He did it, I can do it too." But if there is a male figure, whether an uncle or a brother or a father, that is really monitoring them, it helps a lot. Now, I'm going to share a story about what one principal did in Ontario. He discovered that the rate boys drop out of school was just too high. I'm talking about 1992, 92 to 99. So he tried so much to help them. He went from community to community to encourage them, but there was no improvement. So he developed a program called Power Monday. And Power Monday is about, they talk about dreams, they talk about setting goals, they talk about leadership. So, and this is for grade 7 to 9, the middle grades. So what they did was that on Power Monday, these kids, they would dress to school professionally. And this is what I'm talking about. They go to school with a shirt, a pant, a suit, and a tie. Everybody. Now, according to him, he's not just telling them that the white collar job is the only job, but he wants to plant a seed that will keep on germinating to the future. So on Power Monday, he was really focusing on male because he discovered that girls they set goals for themselves, they plan. So girls too, they have their group, but for the boys, they will have, this is for like the first 4 periods of the day. So they will gather together, they talk about a lot of things. One of it is to invite someone from the community. So the person we talk, especially a successful person, it will come talk about his successes and failures. How studying academically helped him to prosper. Then how he was able to overcome all his failures. That is for him. Now, they will invite somebody else. They do invite people that are just coming out of jail to share how did they find themselves in jail. What were they doing wrong? So that all these boys can learn from it. You know? And these people, they will come and share their experiences with these boys. Then he discovered that this Power Monday was really changing the student. Boys started getting good grades. They started performing better. Now, another thing they are doing for Power Monday is for the older grades, like grade 9, to start helping the younger grades. So there is a boy, they pair them up, older grade and younger one. You know, I said this is for grade 7 to 9. So this older grade is like an accountability uh, program too. Say, okay, you told me that you have a test next week. Have you studied? How are you performing in math? What are you finding difficult? So all these older grades, they share their experiences with the younger grades, and they help them to even prepare for tests. They share their experiences in life with them. So they help to bring them up. So what the principal said was that the kids are performing well, is happy, the parents are happy, the community as a whole started growing. Another thing was that they were able to share, you know, boys to boys. This is what I'm happy with. This is what is going on. This, I'm finding math so hard. How can I get help? So they started helping. Even something that doesn't relate to school, they discussed about it. So the principal is checking, monitoring their performance in school, which is so big. And these boys, they started setting goals. This is what I want to be in future. And this is what I'm doing towards it. I'm going to be a doctor, so I want to really focus on my sciences because I want to get good grades. Oh, I'm not doing well in science or social studies, and I want to study this, and I really need it. So they started helping them to share, and they discovered that, you know, there's some male, as a teacher, there's some boys in class that they don't just want to talk. If you're asking questions, they don't want to, they will not contribute. But these boys start gaining confidence because they give them topics to treat. And so they will come on Monday and stand before their groups and present their speech. So they have debates. So all this prepared them for future. So after a lot of time, a lot of schools started adopting Power Mondays. They started doing it. And so in Winnipeg too, I've seen some schools doing different things to help bring, especially immigrant boys, immigrant kids out of their shell. Because most of the time, they will not want to talk. And they will not want to contribute anything in class. They will not want to participate. But by giving them confidence that just share, just tell me, whether you are right or not, I will just say something. 4 plus 4 is equal to, okay, if you say 7, how did you get to 7? You know, let the boy share his opinion or how he got to 7. With these two, teachers have so much to do, and thank God there are a lot of good teachers out there. There are a lot of good teachers. And like you said, parents and teachers, they need to work hand in hand. If you are leaving your kids to just stay in school, oh, that is, I cannot be doing my job and be looking after the kids again. No. You need to be in their life. Let them know that my mom is going to ask my teacher why I scored 5/10 in this test. So by that, they will want to read more because they don't want mom to ask. So let parents, yes, we are immigrants, We are always busy. We want to make more money. We are not just in Canada to eat or sleep. Yes, you are here to make money. But remember, your kids are growing. As they are moving from shift to shift, so also kids are growing because they go to school day by day. So try to be involved in that boy's life because you are giving him something that you cannot buy with money. So that will be my own contribution to that.
Okay. Okay, another things factor that I also think about is like, with the male youths, because they think that they know everything. They always have the cell phone, the tablet, oh yeah, I know about this school, I know about what they offer. I don't know, like, I don't have to really call the school and find out what programs do you have and all that. They don't really know after graduating high school. But you know what? When you start like training them very early in life, when they like, you know, a child can say, I want to be a doctor when he's in kindergarten, right? But when as they are growing older, or the
It
child,
changes.
yeah, it's changing, right? But that doesn't change your goal as a mother. You just keep encouraging. Are you still going to be a doctor? You sometimes you don't even ask. Their subject will tell you.
Yes.
Even they can be able to vocalize, you know what, I don't think whether I will be able to become a doctor. Maybe I need to change something else, right? So like once they mention it, so you have to be supportive. Okay, you want to do this, maybe look at like the schools that offer the best program. Like if
Yeah.
it's business, more especially in Canada, try to look up this school that offers the best business school in Canada, right? Something like that. Then you will be able to engage them to look ahead even before graduation, So that will give them confidence. They will be able even to call, hey, I want to enroll in this university for business program. So what are the GP you guys want us and all those things, right? They'll be able to find in that
Yeah.
conversation, maybe with the secretary of that university or the college. That is the time he's gaining confidence
Yeah.
to talk about that, to be socially connected, you know and also, like, emotionally it's also good, because now the male youth like gets out of the shell of not feeling confident.
Yeah.
But if he's confident now, finding more about his education, calling the secretary without your presence or with your guidance, I think that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have just to, like, in high school or starting from high grades, maybe grade 8, grade 12, like, as parents, we just have to make sure that we need to have some time with our
Yeah.
male youths, because even in these grades, when they're becoming pre-teenagers, they want to find things out for themselves.
Yeah.
They are getting into relationship. They are getting to twist their hair all the time. They are on cell phone all the time, tablets and all that. You just have to set some tough boundaries, because
Yeah.
if you just let them like that, they will you will not be able to talk them again into good habits. So this is also a huge factor that I have seen with our community. We find that because we didn't tackle all these problems earlier in early grades, so this affects them, because they say if the tree is bent when it's fully grown, you cannot be able to bend it straight,
Straight.
right? So we just have to make sure that we talk to our boys when they are young. First
Yeah.
of all, we have to make them know that you're going to be responsible man out there. You need to be able to pay your rent. You need to pay your tuition when you're in university, right? Those kind of things also will place some responsibility on their mindset that, oh, if I messed up, I will not be able to pay,
That's right.
and I will not be even like afford to buy clothes for myself. So we just have to be supportive with our boys. We talk to them when they're still young, and also find a right channel um, with other kids. You know, I always think about, if you pair if your friend, if your child is a friend to a child that curses a lot, even if your child is a Christian, at the
It
end
will.
of the day, your child will turn out to curse you even.
Yeah.
So just as a parent, if you know your child is having a friend, make sure know the background of that friends. Are they good friends? Are they bad friends? What do they talk when they meet together? Is it education, or is it educative stuff, or they talk a lot about other things? So we just have to make sure that we do some background checks of our kids' friends
Yes.
before they drag them into other other ways. So another thing is also factor that I'm thinking, or I read somewhere, is also, like with the immigrant boys, they come here, some of them come here when they're like 10, 15 and older, right? So they're older, they have their friends, they have the cell phone, they have bikes, but when you're an immigrant, you don't get a lot of money to afford everything, right? So they think that, oh, you know what, I'm not going to university, I just want to, after high school, I just want to start working on construction company, or other places, right? So what kind of really advice do you kind of give to youth out there who are 15 and they're starting thinking of working and not enrolling to universities?
Uh, like you said, friends are so important. Friends, your kids' friends, they influence their life so much. One of the reasons of saying that is that if a father or a mom tell a son, don't do this, on getting to school, if the friends, if they say, oh, your mom, she's just joking, the boy will listen to the friends more than the mom if he's not careful. Because friends, their hearts is so tender because they are just growing. They are growing that time. So friends, especially if they are 2, 3, whatsoever they say, boys listen to each other so much, or to one another so much. So parents need to be very, very, very careful. I've seen a boy that just because his friend said, oh, we are not going to do this for our university. We are not going to study this course because we don't like it. Those that are doing it, they will not get job, or they don't get jobs. Just because they say that, the boy, despite the fact that that course was his dream, he didn't pursue it. Just because the friends said that, no, it's not a good one. So as a parent, number one, let your kids know that whatsoever they will pay you now is just meager or very small compared to what you will be earning if you go to university or if you study more. Let them know that the money that maybe is looking towards at the age of 15, I don't know how much they may be paying them that will be so big, but what is looking towards that, oh, $25 an hour, wow, that is huge. Let him know that that is not money compared to what is going to earn after studying or going to university. Make sure that you keep on telling them that is not money compared to your future. Because as soon as they made up their minds at age 15, 16, if not God's on that parent's side, it's so hard for you to, you know, change it. So you need to start at a very early age and tell them those jobs, yeah, you can do it for summer break. If you really want to have experience of working, then you go back to school. But don't let them settle for less. Encourage them, work more. And at the same time, use all your power to tell them that friends have so much uh, effect on their decision. Don't listen to anybody. Make up your mind, because it's going to be only you in future. If you don't work hard and you don't focus on what you're doing, it will be you. Nobody else will be by your side. No friend. There will be no friend. If you are making decision now based on what John said, or based on what David said, David will not be there for you, because David will need to focus on his own life too. So let them realize that they own themselves. That is their life. They need to take good care of their life. Dropping out at grade 9, which is most of what boys were doing before. They drop as soon as they finish the middle year, they stop going to school. When they drop out, that is half-baked education. And they cannot get anywhere with that. Now, trying to graduate grade 12, yeah, that is something, but at the same time, you need more knowledge. You need to know more in order for you to handle issues in life. There are some issues that if you don't have the knowledge, you will not be able to tackle it well. Day in, day out issues. So they need more knowledge. You need to assure them that for you to be a man, for you to be able to take care of yourself in future, you need to learn. You need to get more information. You need to study more, get more knowledge in order for you to be able to take good care of yourself and your family.
Well, yeah, that is so true. Like some decision that our youth they make is based on their friends,
Mm-hmm.
right? The influence of their
Yeah.
friends, right? So as parents too, we just have to make sure that when they're making that decision, we will still, come back to them. You made
Mm-hmm.
this decision of not going to school at age of 16. What are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
Right? What are you gonna do? You're gonna go to work, do construction job. Construction job is seasonal, right?
Yeah.
From November to, is it from May to November? Then what are you going to do
Mm-hmm.
after November until May, next May? So even if they choose, sometimes it's good to empower them to do what then they want
Mm-hmm.
to do. But again, you need to empower them. You need to because they are not 18 yet to make that decision. In
Yeah.
Canada here, they said, oh, when you're 18, you're an adult, you can make decision for yourself. But you know what? At that age of 15, if they want to work on construction, it's good. Allow them to go and work, but make sure that from December to May they have something
Mm-hmm.
they are doing, because that like 6 months of being free, not doing, you don't know what other behaviors will creep in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you just have to tell them, you don't want to go to school, find some courses to
Mm-hmm.
do. Meanwhile, you wait for your next job. I read something to you, like, if a male child say, oh, you know what, I'm not going to school, I'm just going to work, let them work, but ask them if they can be open to take classes online,
Mm-hmm.
or they can be able to do hands-on jobs in the laboratory, or hybrids kind of stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, right? Then even when they're doing that, they will find it interesting. Then they'll say, oh, you know what, maybe I should go back to classes, right? Then from there, they have learned working as a part-timer, earning this little money. But when they go back to school, they know that, if I go to school, my salary will increase, my hourly pay will increase. So that will encourage them, because in the job that they're working, probably there is someone who will you're still young, you're working this construction. Maybe if you go to school, you upgrade, you get
Yeah.
you get a degree, maybe you're going to pay, you'll get pay more higher. So it's always, as a parent, you just have to empower your kids. Empower them, and also make sure that when you empower them, be realistic.
Yeah.
Don't say I think so, but say I know. Because if you say I know, if I think so and I know, they are two different kind
Yeah.
of I'm not an English person, so I don't know. But if you say I know, which means that you really know, going to school will help you in future. If you say I think so, which means that you are not kind of really sure about
That's
it.
right.
So you just have to make sure whatever you say to your child, that what I'm saying is true. What I'm telling you is true.
Yeah.
Even if you are not educated, you can say, yes, I know it's true, because now you see me working this job, and then when you go to school, you will even do more better.
Yeah.
Another thing, I think culture also impacts our boys who come here, because back home in South Sudan, I don't know, other countries in Africa. Back in Sudan and Uganda, for sure, I know, kids focus on school, right? Because there is no part-time job there.
That's right.
You only survive on your parents' income, what your parents offer, And for me, growing up, my dad used to be a person who is always on our neck for school. You can't get around. If you don't want school, you'll get whipped really properly. So like, it's a culture in Africa that parents do
Yes.
empower their boys to go to school. Because like, if in Africa, like in South Sudan, if you don't go to school, you cannot find house girl job, you cannot find McDonald's that you go to work with that small money, right? The only thing you have to concentrate on is go to school.
Yes.
I think that culture from back home, if we apply here, it will work. We shouldn't allow our boys to adopt to this culture, I will work in McDonald's. We just have to bring our culture with us.
Yes.
Even if we immigrate to other parts of the world, we just need to bring our culture. We just have to make sure that education is the first thing in your life. You just have to make sure you graduate. I think that also help, like, empower them culturally. Tell them, at the age of 18 you can't move out. I remember my brother graduated from university from Cairo. When he came, he did not move out. He was almost in his 30s or 30s. He didn't move out. Yeah, he didn't move out, but he was staying with us at that age, right? So anyway, that is what I just want to emphasize about that. We are just going to take some few minutes for break. Yeah, stay connected, stay tuned, don't go away. We still have more to discuss.
Mungu sio mwanadamu, aliyokuahidi sharti atatenda. Haleluya. Hesabu 23:19.
welcome back. Welcome back. We just want to say thank you for all our viewers out there, and I have seen a lot of comments coming in. Unfortunately, we are not able to address them this week. We will continue next week. As we continue with our discussion, we are running out of time. We have less than 10 minutes, but we just want to talk a little bit about minority groups in schools, racism, and all that. Do you also see that affects our boys' performance too in school?
Yes, so much. Uh, we don't have enough, let me say, black teachers. Just to, because we immigrant, they are white group, it's a big group. We have Hispanic, we have other races. But in schools, we don't have enough black teachers. I've been to a school where a boy he ran to me as if they, his friends, they were asking him, is that your mom? He said, no, I just want to say hi to her. Then after some time, he came again and he said, please, are you going to be in my school fully? Will you be teaching in my school now? Then I was looking at him that what made him ask me that question, because there will be something that maybe he want to share. So it was like, they don't like me, and I don't find anybody to talk to. And I want to tell you something. You know, the way he was pouring his heart, I said, oh, I'm just here for a meeting that I'm not in your school. I'm just here briefly. So we need to have diversity in staff, so that all these kids, they will have somebody that look like them. Let me use that statement or phrase, to go to, somebody they can open up to. Okay, this is what is going on at home. This is what is going on in class. And this is why I'm doing this. But if there is nobody, yes, there are teachers, but these kids, they will be thinking, she's not like me. She doesn't look like me. I don't really know how to share. I don't know how she will understand what I want to talk about. So diversity is very important in school staff. Very, very important. Then racism is so real. It's very subtle in school and insidious in school, because they will not come to you and say, you are black, I don't like you. I'm talking about within students. But there is a way they do it that the boy will not like himself. This is happening in younger grades, in older grades. So this is an issue that we need to tackle as a community and as individual. Parents at home, you need to lecture your kids. You are beautiful. You are handsome. You are good looking. Don't let anybody bring you down. It's only words that these kids need to say to each other. Yeah, you know, there are lots of words. I don't want to repeat it here, but parents need to assure their kids, you are excellent. You are good looking. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Don't let anybody bring you down. Whatsoever they are saying, they are all lying. That is a big lie. You have two eyes, they have two eyes. So there are lots of things that we need to do, because racism is going on, but it's very subtle. Like I said the other time, it's very subtle. I've been in a class that you will not even know that this kid doesn't like this boy. Now what they are doing is to write a lot of mean words on a paper, and they will pass it to somebody, give it to him. Now the person that started writing or that wrote the letter will not put his name or her name there. So this is why we'll be looking, who did this? And when they are alone at home, they will be depressed. So if such a boy is not even close to the parent will not know what is going on. Assuming the parents know that, oh, somebody did this in class, the parent will be able to take it up. But if the boy is not opening up at home, that is not good. So when we need to be, just keep on talking to your kids. If anything happen in class, just share. When you come home, share it with me. And when they come home, what did this person, try to know the names of their friend and a lot of things, there is no time.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? About racism, as a nursing student, I have experienced it, to tell you the truth. In nursing, for me, I came direct from Africa, went to nursing school. Some of the terminologies or some of the English now they are kind of using, like it was kind of a bit new to me.
Yeah.
And again, because in Africa their syllabus are all in British kind of English, right? And here kind of you just have to talk Canadian or Canadian American English.
Yes.
That was also another problem. Like honestly, I was the only black lady in class, right? And the teachers were some of the teachers, not all, some of the professors are really mean. Or they'll come, oh, this course might be too hard for you, eh? Do you really understand all these things? And even when you do your journals, right? I have never got like 90% in
Plus.
my in my journals. Only 70s, 80. To get that 80, I would have worked so hard,
Yeah.
So sometimes we don't blame these kids for not going to higher education, because even if you are smart in class, because of this racism, they look at us black people, right? Black people, you don't have this mind, you don't know how, you are not performing well, even
Yeah.
if they just generalize, let me say, right? Maybe one black child is not doing well in class, and maybe you are 3 or 4, they may think all of you are in
Yeah.
the same category, right? So because of that, you see they are mistreating your fellow black child. You
Yeah.
may think, oh, why should I stay in this class if this is how this the other child is getting the treatment, right? But again, that child is different and you are
Yes.
different. You
Yes.
just have to stand your ground. The problem with the kids, is like, because they have seen that happen to their fellow friends, then they will all join together. They will say,
Yeah.
today is you and tomorrow is me, but they never know that everybody has different opportunity in life,
That's
right?
right.
So with all this kind of stuff, we just have to tell our kids at home, you know what? I want to see your grades. You need to do your homework on time. You need to submit your homework on time, so that they don't say, oh, he got less marks because he submitted his homework 2 days after the due date. You just have to make sure you train your kids to do things on time. And this is what I always tell my 2 boys. Just because you are born in Canada, it doesn't mean that your origin is from here. If other kids in class are getting only 90, for you, you have to get 150 to be compared with them. I know they are still young, but I always tell them, you just have to work hard. You just have to work hard. So, we know we got some questions that we need to address. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time, but we will do it sometime next week, and we are still continuing with the same topic next week. If you have any questions you want us to address, or if you have good suggestion out there, good example, you can share with us, because our true wellness connection is for us to share informations together, so that we can know how to empower our boys. Not
Yes.
what because we have said, but we want your inputs too. You know, we just have 2 minutes left. What are you going to tell our viewers? Like conclusion.
I would like to say that parents, they are the first teacher for kids, for boys, for girls. You are the first teacher. So please, whatsoever you are preaching to them, they are watching you. They are looking at you. That are you going to practice it? That is why most of the time, if you tell them, don't do this, but they will tell you, but why are you doing it? If you are doing it, then I should be able to do it. So they are watching you, watching your step, watching the way you talk, watching the way you respond to situations. Yeah, this is a broad topic. We're talking about male youth, socially, culturally, academically. Academically, it's just one part of a large topic. So please, whatsoever you are doing, your kids are watching. Your kids are watching you. Please put that at the back of your mind. They are watching you, expecting you to practice what you are preaching to them.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, our viewers. Thank you so much. Yeah, we are the first teachers in our kids' life. So next week we're just going to talk about the same topic. We hope you enjoy our show today. Have a blessed evening, and may God bless you.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.
Ponga ponga ukanikumbuta vumbi ukaniketisha na wafalme nasema sema asante sikustahili ni neema yako Baba sikustahili ni neema yako Baba sikustahili mimi ni neema yako Baba sikustahili ni neema yako Baba ukaniponda ponda ukanikunguta vumbi ukaniketisha na wafalme nasema sema asante ukaniponda ponda ukanikunguta vumbi ukaniketisha na wafalme nasema sema asante Wengi tulizaliwa nao hawako gisi mimi niko leo, nitatangaza mazuri ulinitendea. Wengi tulizaliwa nao hawako gisi mimi niko leo, nitatangaza mazuri ulinitendea. Wengi tuliogonjwa nao leo wameitwa marehemu, kwa neema yake Bwana tumelindwa. Wengi tulizaliwa nao hawako gisi mimi niko leo, nitatangaza mazuri ulinitendea. Neema yako Baba inaweza badilisha sheria ya wanadamu. Umenipa ndoa ya amani na watoto wazuri, yote kwa neema. Sikustahili mimi, ni neema yako Baba.
You are watching the True Word Television, spreading the true word of salvation.